Look, nothing went right in game two. That admit they were awful in the first half anyway. Reece Walsh creates, where Hemiso he needs someone to create for him. Dearden he is a creative player, but not like give me the ball.
Hello and welcome to Immortal Behaviour for another week. Thanks to our mates at Tab. Andrew Johns, I'm actually surprised you're here, given the surf is absolutely pumping from this weather front.
I know, I'm just waiting. Good things happen to those who wait. Is that what they say?
Play on, it sounds good. We're under a week until Origin Game 3, the big decider. We're obviously pumped about this, but at the moment, both sides are in camp at the moment. Yeah. How do you think New South Wales are feeling?
I think they'd be very confident. Look, nothing went right in game two. That admit they were awful in the first half anyway. And then second half in terrible conditions, slippery conditions, you know, we all know if they kick goals, they win the game. So I think the changes for Queensland are very questionable, which we'll get to, but I think New South Wales will be very confident. It's very important that you stay nice and relaxed up until pretty much the day before, because they've played a lot of footy, and emotionally, Origin, you've got to get yourself up, and there's been a bit of travel. So yeah, it's important they stay nice and relaxed leading into it, and then get themselves right up day before or day of the game.
What do you think for the coach, Laurie Daly? What do you think his overarching, messages in this camp are at the moment ahead of Game 3?
Oh, without doubt, discipline. Don't give away penalties. And look, you can scrutinise it any way you want, but we didn't get a penalty till the 43rd minute. But the penalties which were given against us were deserving.
Yep.
A couple were questionable, but get your discipline right. I think they only completed 50-odd%, which conditions contributed to, but discipline, get through your sets. If they do that and build a game, there's a lot of strike in New South Wales.
Are you still excited about that, the fact that we probably haven't seen it all just yet?
Well, if you get the ball to them.
Okay, let's get to that soon as well. Part of Laurie's coaching staff, Craig Bellamy, we did speak about him a little bit, particularly before Game 1, but we haven't necessarily got into the nuts and bolts of his impact. What sort of, nuggets has he been throwing out at this point in time, ahead of Game 3?
I think interchange, when to bring players on and off. I think that's a real art, especially, well, it's been around for that long, especially with their middle forwards, how long they leave the big boys on. I think ruck defence, it's a real highlight of his coaching, his ruck defence. And I think also what not to say. If you're as a coach and you're a bit revved up and feeling the pressure a bit, you can't let it rub off on the players, because the players can smell it. So, yeah, interchange, ruck defence, but also I think what not to say. Sometimes it's what you don't say is more important.
Well,
it's quite philosophical, isn't it?
It is. We've all seen Bellyache in action in the coaching box. He does look a little bit of a different person, being in the role that he is behind Laurie Daly. Have you heard much from camp about how he is with the players and what's sort of gone on?
No, nothing. I haven't really spoke to anyone about it. It'd be interesting to see how hands-on he is. I don't know if he's in camp. Is he in camp the whole time? I think he'd be coming and going.
Yes.
I think it's more game day. And the Freddie one, you had Ivan in the box with him, and Ivan's a pretty cool character, but help Freddie with the interchange when to do that. It's a real art.
It's cool, isn't it? Given that they're all obviously Origin players and at the top of their game and the pick of the bunch, they get into these camps and they know how to play footy, right? So what are they trying to get out of this camp as individuals, as a coach and a coaching staff? What are you trying to get out of those individuals to make sure that they improve for Game 3?
I think play to our strengths. Right. And you have a look at the strength of our team. Well, there's strengths all over the park. All over the park. This team's been together, the nucleus of this team, for 4, 5, 6 years now. And if they get it right, it's a real special team. But for me, if you look at the team, you got Angus and Latrell on the left. You got Liam Martin and Critter on the right. We got to play to them. We've got to get them more quality ball, where to get them the ball and when to get them the ball. So if we get them quality ball, like in Perth, once again, horrible conditions. Latrell put 3 tries on for Brian Toto just with his skill, but when he got the ball, the defence was there. How talented he is. If we can get him more ball, look out.
So if you're going into camp, let's say you're going in today and you're purely focusing on the attack, you obviously want to speak to your spine, particularly the ball players, but what are you saying to them about the attack to refine that, to maybe get him early ball or change their shapes?
Well, they're getting the ball in unstructured defence, and how you do that is getting offloads. How do you get offloads? Your halves are up in the advantage line, supporting the big boys. Payne Haas has got a great offload in him. And when the offloads come, just throw it straight to Latrell or Crichton on an edge, because the defence is all staggered. And if you give Latrell little pockets, or Angus or Liam or Crichton, their footwork. Latrell's, he can beat a bloke on the outside and do that. He comes back with his left foot and goes douche. You can't tackle him one-on-one. So I'd encourage him to get forward and support more and play more offloads. Like in game 1, we made 15 offloads. And in game 2, once again the conditions, we only made 5 offloads. They defend shape so well. And it's around the halfway line.
Yeah. When
you're attacking around the half line, defences out wide aren't as aggressive. Wingers can drop back, so it gives Latrell and Crichton even more time. So halves got to realise it's really good to go in the line and hold up these defenders, but the longer you go into the line close to the row, the less time you're giving out here.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just go here, do something with it.
So earlier on the set, you want to see both Jerome, Nathan
on the advantage
support your big boys, and then let one rip.
The halves and fullback or the spine, you can't expect your forwards to get quick play ball and go there, run into a brick wall. If you've got Payne Haas, it probably helps, but you got to get in around and buzz around, which gives one-on-one tackles, quick play of the balls, or offloads. But I just love to see them use the ball more. If you have a look at the strength of the team, the real strength of the team is in the edges, and it's where do we get them the ball, how do we get them the ball, and when we get them the ball. So build the game, tire them out, close support around the halfway line, bit at second phase, and then just move the ball. If we do that, you get Latrell not one-on-one, you get Latrell 1-on-2.
Yeah. He
can still pull your pants down. We saw Angus last year in Melbourne. No one could tackle him. Same on the other side. You got Crichton, who scored that try in game 2. And then you got the psychopath, which is Liam Martin.
He's a psychopath.
So it's going to be dry conditions. The rain's going away. So hopefully it's a little bit windy Wednesday night, which keeps the dew off. And if it does, I think we've got serious points if we get it right.
So you see how it can happen off that second phase footy and the support play, particularly when you're around halfway. Do you see them actually doing that? Because we know they love their structures, particularly Nathan, and he's very good at it. He sees everything that the defence is doing. He'll choose the right options. He'll link up with Isaiah. But is there a world in which you see what you'd love to see happen play out in game 3?
I think so. A couple of years ago at Townsville, when we put 50 on them, there was a lot of ball movement there. I think Teddy and Nathan and Turbo went to work, and Latrell. I think Latrell's up there. But it can be hard because a lot of these players, you hear them playing in systems. They play in these systems, rugby league, where they go to this place to this and they just stay to these systems. And unless you're in those systems, these guys, they all play in different systems and they all have different philosophies. Look, Penrith, they get to a lead and just grind you into the ground. But very successful, but if you got the Ferraris and the Mack trucks out there, you got to use them. So that's the challenge, to play a style which really complements our strike. So hopefully we do that.
And given that Queensland have had to have a bit of a shift in their backline, do you think that suits New South Wales? Do you see areas that they can attack? Yeah.
Look, an area where we are way ahead is our back 3. Dylan Edwards brings the ball back. Brian Tutto is probably the best dummy half play to runner we've ever seen. He pinballs off him, and then you've got Zach Lomax who's just charging. Compare that on the other side. If we kick early, I think we can get down and get at Hemiso, and then if Nathan kicks right, that's Xavier Coates, who isn't that big blockbusting player coming out of trouble. On the other side, Val Holmes. So I think our back 3 has a big advantage. So Nathan will do a lot more kicking. Game 2, he didn't do much kicking, so it all went to the left. He'll kick to the right. Liam Martin and Crichton.
Well, that game against the Bulldogs, he looked like he was fine kicking in general play, which is great for New South Wales, isn't it?
Yep.
Bit of confidence from that game as well. Before we move on to Queensland, there have been some players, Nathan being one of them, that have had a bit of an easier start to the week in Origin camp. your man, Izzy Katoa, got brought into the squad. Do you think he would have taken over for a little bit and run some of those shapes in and around training and directed the boys and owned it while Nathan had a bit of a breather?
What are we on to today? I doubt they would have trained. I'd say there would have been a light session either this morning or yesterday. I hope he's in there. I actually texted Nathan and just said, mate, put an arm around this bloke because when you're finished, is the next one in. So, you know, it's important that Izzy Katoa follows Nathan everywhere.
Yeah.
And he sees how he prepares to train, how he prepares to go into team meetings, what he says in the team meetings, what he does in warm-up, the way he talks to his players out on the field when they're training, everything, the way he's kicking, the way he's communicating with the coach. I hope Izzy is just shadowing Nathan, just to see, you know, it's going to be his team soon, and how important about how he presents himself, how he talks to his teammates, how he talks in team meetings. I don't know Isaiah at all. I don't know whether he's a big, strong voice, but when he comes in, whenever it is, 2, 3, 4 years' time, we need him going, this is my team. This is how we're doing it. Which is exciting.
It's so exciting. Yeah. And it's good knowing as well, like given that you've spoken to Nath about him, and even the little that we do know from Izzy being at the footy games and how he conducts himself and wants to speak, and I think he's a really intelligent person outside of a footy player, but we know how much respect Nathan has for him as a player as well as a person too, which has only got to help the future of New South Wales.
I've seen him a few times, Nathan. I just say, Katoa, and we just shake our head. And then the other night, who'd they smoke? Who'd they beat when?
The Dolphins beat
South Sydney, didn't they?
Yes, it was South.
I text Nathan during the game and just went, Katoa. And he just texts back, on another planet.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So cool.
So it's so good to see. And we get to see him for the next 10, 15 years. So hopefully he's injury free. And then, you know, it's exciting that transition. 1-7 goes and the next one comes in. So we got some really good young players off the top of my head. You know, you're talking Ethan Strange and Luke Medcalf and Galvin and these sort of players, K.O. Weeks. I'm just off the top of my head, I'm going to be leaving some out obviously, but we got some really good young players coming through. It's exciting for New South Wales.
Let's take a break from Origin for a second. Joey, it's time for your tab big call of the week. What have you got?
What did I get last week? I think I got it. Someone 13
Did you get
plus.
it again?
Yep.
Was it Melbourne?
It was Melbourne 13 plus. Thank you. Or this week there's another 13 plus. I think the Roosters 13 plus. I think they can put a score on. I think the Broncos against the Dogs on Friday night, I give the Broncos a big hope. Now, it was drying out in Sydney. I thought it was going to be really wet, but I think Adam Reynolds' kicking game can get them home. So I think they're pretty good odds, juicy odds. Broncos, they're outsiders. I'd have them pretty much flip a coin between these two. But yeah,
that is a big one.
It is a big one. It's a big call.
That's a big call. That is a big call.
But
also the Bulldogs feeling that Origin period where they're not necessarily been used to that over the last
they got some players
chunk,
out.
And
Karaz is out also.
Exactly.
So he adds a lot, Karaz. So yeah, I think the Broncos are way over the odds.
Wow.
But Roosters 13 plus.
Morals. That's what you usually throw out there. Morals.
The more you put on, the more you go back. But do it responsibly. Probably get the cane for that.
Mates at Tab, yeah, best of luck. How many times did you get the cane at school?
None.
What? Stop it.
We had this nun, and she used to hit you there, and then used to hit you on the back on the way back up.
She got you, I bet.
Bring back the cane, I say.
I mean, I tell you what, I'm sure it worked.
Well, there was consequence.
Yeah, exactly.
You were scared of a cane. Bring it back.
Do you think the kids used to be scared at me when I was teaching high school?
Did you have a cane?
Nope. Had a whistle, that was about it.
A whistle. No, but if the teachers came and said, okay, you got to sign this, so if your kid's playing up, we can give them the cane.
Oh, no doubt.
Rip into them.
Play on.
Yeah.
Queensland, now one of the better journeyman stories, Shibasaki got called in for Game 3. Billy gave him the call up. 26-year-old, he went from train and trial. Did I just say that wrong?
No.
No, I said it right. I don't know why it sounded wrong. But train and trial. He's obviously played at a few clubs. He was at the Broncos. He played a fair bit of footy at the Knights.
Yeah.
The South a stint.
He was at the Knights.
Yeah. And now he's playing Origin footy.
Japanese rugby.
Yeah, he went there for a few years.
Yeah, he's been a journeyman.
Crazy.
But he's been playing really well. I'm trying to think the last bolter, which would be equivalent of this. It's hard to think. If someone said left centre for Queensland and you ask 100 people, no one would have said Shibasaki, not one person. So obviously Billy and the selectors have seen something. I think Lockie's the selector there. He probably sees the Broncos in all the time, but also the attitude of Shibasaki. But yeah, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away by this one. I was blown away too that Hemiso was fullback. I thought Reece Walsh was put him in for sure.
Do you think the fact that Madge is Shibasaki's coach has maybe helped, like his heart and edge? Because obviously, you speak about Lockie being, I guess he's linked with both the Broncos and he's one of the selectors for Queensland. Like that's got to help. So some of those messages coming from internally? Yeah,
for sure. I think Madge has been a great influence on Shibasaki. He's a big unit.
Yeah, he's
a really see how big he is. Great facial hair too. It's an 80s goatee.
Do you reckon you could do that if you tried?
Yeah, probably not 2 weeks. But yeah, I think he's really responded to Madge. And look, there's no substitute for hard work. And he's got him fit, he's got him focused. Good luck to him. No, actually not. Not good luck to him. No.
He's a good defender. I feel like that fits the way that Billy respects and selects his team, isn't it? Awful. Like defence in those effort areas.
So it's going to be him and Munster defending next to each other. So get as much traffic there as you can. Try to tire Munster out. Because if you have a look at fullback, Reece Walsh creates, where Hemiso he needs someone to create for him. Dearden he is a creative player, but not like give me the ball. Once his hand's on the ball, it's up to Munster to create. So we've got to get his tackle count up.
Is that why it surprised you that Hamiso was at fullback and not Reece Walsh, or do you think he does want to play? What does that message send to you, the fact that Billy's gone with Hammer at fullback and not Reece Walsh? What do you read into that?
I heard Queensland's only podcast with the King, Lockie and someone else, which you'll see on Wide World of Sports website. Is that right?
I don't know. Sounds good.
YouTube or something like that. And Lockie actually said, it just goes to show we're going to attack around the ruck. I went, ding, I remember that. So I think there'll be more attack out of Harry Grant out of dummy half. Saw Harry in game 2 put Munster over on that from dummy half. And Papali's a try scorer. So I think they'll attack more out of dummy half.
Papali, big papa.
Huge. The influence that he'll have on the other teammates too. Some of these forwards would never have played with him. And I have no doubt his job is to take on Payne. So watch this Payne. Actually, their front row, their middle to start with, Tino and Papa. It's going to shake the stadium.
They're there to do a job, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, our Ampol power surge has come in off the back of last week's NRL. Number 3, we're just speaking about him, the Hammer. 4 tries against South Sydney. What a freak.
It's just like human honey watching him run. He's so smooth. Changes direction, actually gains speed, the balance. And it's effortless. It's just not fair that someone can be so fast and just looks so graceful.
It's a freak.
Maybe a ballerina in a past life.
A ballerina.
Maybe.
Beautiful.
Swan Lake.
Number 2, he sees the game better than almost anyone, particularly at the moment. Nathan Cleary, he's charged down. What did you make of that?
Well, they were wobbling for 60 minutes. They weren't in that game. But I think they ended up completing about 90%. And then when they needed something, Nathan stands up. That was the only try they scored off a charge down. And when you need something, one of your big players stands up, and Nathan stood up.
It's pretty wild.
It was smart
actually
because Burton wasn't doing much kicking. Sexton was doing a lot of the kicking on the right, and Berto's transfer from his hands to his feet when he's kicking along is quite slow. So I reckon Nathan went, right, I can get him here.
And he saw Galvin was playing the ball. No fullback at home. Wild. He just sees things before anyone even thinks about them, doesn't he? All right, number 1. He had an absolute blinder. Connor Tracy, his try-saving ability for the Dogs on the line was through the roof.
2. Just threw everything. No technique, just threw his body at it. Jesus, was a good game. Just the way the game should be played with intensity and ball movement and try-saving tackles. And Connor Tracy. I've seen him play around the last half a dozen years and playing from club to club and playing in the halves, a bit of dummy half, but there he's grown a leg. Him and Bailey Haywood and these sort of players. Josh Curran's another one. Max King's another one. They just get these players and they've developed them so well. So well done to the Dogs, but well done to Connor Tracy. he's put his body on the line. He's probably worked as hard as he has the last couple of years.
We've heard this story before, haven't we? The way that Penrith came through the last 4 or 5 odd years, and now the Bulldogs are having their turn.
Seraldo,
cool.
all these players and coaches from that club. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing.
All right, Joey, the NRLW kicks off on Thursday night. Sharks taking on the Eels. I'm obviously pumped for it, but off the back of the Origin series that we just witnessed, how keen are you?
Yeah, can't wait for it. 2 more teams, the Dogs and the Warriors. I understand they've got some converts at the Warriors.
They do.
A couple of Rugby Sevens girls who have gone to the Olympics. So that's exciting. Jim Dimmick's daughter has gone to the Bulldogs, so another second-generation player playing for the club their dad did. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Some of the teams are stacked. The Roosters, they're going to be hard to beat. Broncos, Tamika going back up there. Jesse Southwell, another year older. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Do you think the way that the NRL have handled the expansion, particularly slowing up a little bit, do you think that's worked and panning out at the moment?
Yep, 100%. I thought maybe last year I thought for a while they've gone too quickly.
Yeah.
But then as the season went on, the lesser teams really built up. But yeah, they're applauded for what they're doing. 2 more teams. And then, we're getting players from elsewhere, from rugby union especially. So great athletes now in the game.
It's cool, isn't it? I think also, so much of the conversation from the NRL is they want to have the same amount of NRLW teams as NRL teams. I think now we need to wait. I think we're in a really good position where you're like, let's take it like a 10-year deep breath.
Well, I think the NRL should have 12 teams or 14, not 20. Anyway,
it's wild, isn't it? I'm like, let's take a deep breath because we're in a good place.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Junior numbers are going through the roof in the women's game, in the girls playing. So, give them time to develop. Don't go too big too quickly. I want to ask you closely, who do we watch this year? I've already mentioned the Chooks and the Bronx.
I think they're probably the 2 big dogs.
What about the Warriors? A bit unknown?
Yeah, I think the Warriors might still take a year or 2, but they've got some great players and some really good foundation players there. Michaela Brake, you were speaking about the converts that came over.
I saw a clip of her last night. She's lightning.
She is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And some of the plays that she makes in games, just to read and sum up the situation,
really
one-on-one steals, so strong.
Like low centre of gravity.
Yeah.
Similar to Brian Toe's height.
Yeah, that's actually,
But lightning quick, so that's exciting.
And great skills as well.
Yeah.
I love the Bulldogs, which is also no surprise given what the club's done in the men's space, the way that they've built up their roster. And then I've got the Raiders as a bit of a smoky as well. So, but I think everyone's exciting. And to your point on the NRLW growing, I think some of these new players coming through and getting that little bit more experience as well.
What about some of the young players we should look out for? Is there anyone that everyone's raving about, a young player coming through?
There are a lot, and I think because it's just growing so rapidly. This is a little bit of a strange one for me, but there's a girl that plays in the pack. Her name's River Lialo. She actually played in the under-19s, but she has just smashed everyone out of the park.
And
so she's playing at the Eels. She'll be at Lock this
someone's
week.
mentioned,
Mate, she's a weapon.
So she played New South Wales 19s?
Yep, she played New South Wales 19s. State of Origin under 19s. But she just her skills, but she's just such a weapon and just goes after everything.
Kicks off Saturday night at Shark Park.
Thursday night.
Thursday night
footy, Shark Park, and then Friday.
Okay.
Can't wait. All right, well, we've got NRLW coming. Obviously, the State of Origin Game 3 is next week. Plenty of footy to look forward to ahead of this round of NRL as well. So thank you for joining Joey and I for Immortal Behaviour, and we'll see you again next week.